I crashed my car because of my girlfriend and it nearly unalived us both. Now she's crying and begging when I told her to look for a new partner. My girlfriend and I have been together for a little over 10 months now. We haven't had any heated arguments or fights, except that she keeps tickling me randomly even though I've repeatedly told her never to do it again because I can act strangely to it. Now to get to the current situation. This week, I've had my car returned from a paint job and some major look changes, and I was satisfied with the results, so I took a day off from work and took my girlfriend on a short trip outside the city. We drove to a lake, ate food, and relaxed for a few hours until it got pretty dark. We decided to head back home to get some sleep as I had to go to work the next day, and she had an exam. On the way home, I started talking about how happy I felt with the paint job, and she started tickling me out of nowhere. I pushed her hand away and told her to stop. Then she reached for my ribs with both hands and got me swerving off the road. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, although my car got some deep scratches, but that doesn't matter anymore, as I had already slowed down after her first attempt to tickle me. I'll admit that I told her, "What the F is wrong with you?" as soon as we stepped out of the car, and she started crying, but I couldn't care less as I felt as if my veins were about to pop. When we got home, I told her to pack her things and go to her best friend, but she threw a tantrum and begged me to forgive her for a little mistake. I didn't say a word. I stared in disgust and pointed to her luggage. After her friend picked her up, I tried to go to sleep, but my mind was racing, so I barely got any rest. This happened on Tuesday, and she's been blowing up my phone ever since, but I haven't answered any calls or texts and just blocked her. This led to her friend coming to my house and telling me to at least hear my girlfriend out, but I told her to F off and leave me alone, which made her tell me that I was more in love with a car than with my girlfriend. So, AITA, in this situation? Update: I sent my ex a message telling her we should meet face to face. Some people suggested that I should file for a lawsuit, but my ex is still in uni, and her parents can barely afford to help her. She has done an insanely dumb stunt, but I don't want to punish her parents. The car is getting fixed, and I can afford it without major financial issues. Still, I took screenshots of her messages for proof if the situation escalated. So, we met earlier at a coffee shop. She looked like she'd been crying for a long time, but it didn't change my mind. What shocked me was that she leaned in for a kiss when she saw me, as if nothing happened. I stopped and told her we needed to have a serious conversation. I explained that what happened wasn't because of the car itself but because of her disrespecting my boundaries and not thinking about what might happen if she did that thing. Besides that, I also felt disrespected by the fact that her best friend came knocking at my door to demand things, despite not having any right to do so, which led me to ask my ex if she told her best friend the truth or lied about the situation. She said that she only told her friend that we had a small car crash, and I was pissed at her. Hearing that disappointed me, but I did my best to remain calm. I told her to tell the real story to her friends and family, and she raised her voice and told me that I was accusing her of being a liar, something that led to a 15-minute discussion about how the crash was solely her fault and how she put our lives at risk. I asked her if everything was clear about our situation, and her response was, "Yep, 100%. Can we go home now?" That honestly shocked me. I told her there was no way we could be back together and suggested she be more careful and considerate with her future partner. Her reaction was all tears, shaking, begging me to reconsider my decision, but I just can't look at her the same. I explained again that for me, it wasn't a small mistake she made. It was a full-on stupid decision that an adult shouldn't do, as it could have resulted in something deadly. She just thinks I'm exaggerating, and this back-and-forth argument led to her asking if there's someone else in my life and if I'm just using the accident as an excuse. I denied it and told her that she was too selfish even to realize that she broke my trust and disrespected me by saying this crap. I left the coffee shop feeling like I'd been talking to a wall, but at least I can't say I didn't try to converse. Her mom texted me an hour ago asking what happened, and I told her everything. I said I didn't want any money from them but only asked my ex to keep her distance from me. She apologized for what her daughter did and wished me all the best. As for her friend, from my understanding, she just came to my house without talking with my ex about whether she should do it or not, so I guess she just tried to be the main character in this whole story. Right now, I'm preparing for work, but my chest isn't heavy anymore.